Okay, hi guys. If this reading found you, first of all, take a nice deep breath. Let yourself arrive in your body, okay, wherever you are. Do you feel safe? Okay, this is a message of restoring faith and hope, actually. Hope is the first word. I wish you guys could have seen that. Yeah, because your inner child might be getting triggered at this time, 33 on the timer, because there's a lot of changes, a lot of turmoil. What flipped out as I was shuffling? Now, the title of this reading, of this download, this channel message was inspired by Willow Smith, It's Not a Fantasy, because it just keeps, it's not a fantasy to be here where you are. It's not a fantasy to be here like the water does. And it's so interesting because you have shifted 111 on the timer. You have shifted. And the thing is about the number 111, that talks about shifting realities, manifesting through your thoughts. Do you know how many timelines, how many versions of yourself, how many beliefs that you had to collapse? There were identities, versions of you that had to collapse in order for you to step into the vibration, the frequency of joy, wish fulfillment. And I feel like it's starting to trickle in. Okay, you're getting that spider sense that, okay, things are starting to change, things are turning around. Things are going to start to get more stable. Maybe offers are coming towards you. You might be getting new job offers, might be having new friends. Yeah, Two of Pentacles and 0202 on the timer. Yeah, you're balancing. I don't even want to say you're in the in-between state or the liminal phase. It's just that there is a lot that you are juggling, 212. Okay, maybe you're seeing a lot of mirrored numbers. Maybe the past and the present, there's a lot that's coming. It's Mercury retrograde as I film this. But so maybe there's a lot that's coming up from your past that is, and I don't even know if you can hear me because I'm in the park and there's music playing in the back, but it just seems like that, yeah. It just seems like I just get this fear. There's this fear that, oh my gosh, the good things that are starting to happen are not gonna last. Like, it's an illusion that I'm here. Okay, some of you guys may be even doubting, how am I still here after all that I've been through? Well, there's a part of you that said, keep going. It kept you going. It kept you going, and that is something to be proud of. It's not a fantasy that you're here. It's not a fantasy that you didn't give up. It's not a fantasy that you still dream and desire of true love. It's not a fantasy that you are looking for connections and communities that communicate the way you do, that speak your language. Having faith isn't fantasy. 321 at the time. When you come back to source and you come back to your I am, to your roots, and you recognize the inherent truth that you are worthy, that you are a soul and a spirit in this vessel, that you are your subconscious and your conscious mind put together, aligned, making choices that create this timeline. When you allow yourself to rest in that truth, then you start to be like, oh my gosh, there is so much more that can move. That's why it's interesting with the Two of Pentacles, all the water in the back. Yes, when you are balancing two different realities or two different states or two different energetic, or like when you're trying to get from one pentacle to the other, your emotions can rise because it's just like, is it safe here? Okay, they get high because there's a lot that's being brought up from both the past and the present, which is why you're being asked to nurture yourself at this time. Okay, when you come back to the truth of who it is that you are, and you start to desire to go further than you've ever been, further than you've ever seen, that means the reality that and the ground that you've been walking on, if it does not have the capacity to hold you, it must crumble. Confirmation with the crow. And that's what's happening right now. There's so much that is you're shedding and letting go. In fact, I'm being called to do my what is shedding spread. I hope I can even remember it. I think I can. What is shedding? Let's have a look at what is shedding. I know, that's right. We're going to look at that. We're going to have a look at what is shedding, because right now it seems like you're on the path for a happier timeline. Okay, wish fulfillment, marriage, community, chosen family, creative expression. But there's that feeling of it's a fantasy. And the thing is, I don't feel that. Hold on, I'm gonna let the train pass. Take a deep breath. I don't feel like. I know you know it's not a fantasy. I know you know you've chosen it. I just don't think you feel it's safe to celebrate it. So let's have a look. What is the old skin? What is the old skin? What is being shed right now, Spirit? Nine of Swords in reverse, exactly. And hopefully I get this spread right. To be honest, I could pause it and try and get it up on my phone. Hold on. I'm going to do that. Okay, so the sun has gone down and I accidentally unpaused the video. So I'm just going to continue because I brought up the spread and I've pulled all the cards. So we're going to do it live, but it is very interesting what has come up. So the first card is the old energy that is being shed. So Nine of Swords in reverse shows me that, first of all, you've already shed this, 22 on the timer. You have aligned yourself with a life outside of worry. You are leaving this constant state of fear, worry, where your mind overpowers you. Okay, I'm not saying that you don't have worries and anxieties that come through, because that's the whole point of me doing the spread. I feel like the energy is coming up. There is this still feel this contrast, this feeling of stuck between, is this real? Like, is this an illusion? Okay, so yeah, you are shedding this weight, like insomnia, sleepless nights, and just headache. And the root of this was a lot of energy that you were holding onto in your subconscious mind. And mind you, these cards came out one at the same time. So in your body, in your vessel, you were storing emotions, energy from the past. This could have been past situations, past betrayals, past mistakes. Okay, and that's why confirmation with the next card. Anyway, let me just slow down. The cards are flying. Hold on. This is so chaotic. But yeah, you were holding on to energy, whether this was mindsets, whether this was feelings, but in your body and in your mind. So even when you slept, when you were resting, these sort of things were coming up, the things that you were worried about. Now, the next position in this spread is, how is this energy that you are shedding showing up in real life? And we've got the Seven of Wands, so conflict, competition. Okay, whether this be with you competing with yourself, your past self, whether this be just this feeling of comparing to old versions of you. Okay, this feeling of like you're not allowed to walk through new doors. And again, that song, it's not a fantasy to be here where you are. 222. It's not a fantasy to be where you are, but this feeling of, am I deserving? Do I need to fight? Because Seven of Wands is talking about having to fight for your spot. Okay, having to fight for your right. You don't have to fight for your right, but that's how it's showing up. It's showing up because there were old blockages, there were old beliefs that are stuck in your mental that you are currently releasing. So you have here for the advice to shed. Okay, the advice to shed. Was it advice to shed? Hold on. It was advice to shed, advice to release. And we've got King of Cups energy. Okay, and it came out with the Six of Pentacles, showing me that, okay, you know what, these cards, Spirit wants this message to be quick, but also I'm seeing that this is something that you've been avoiding. Okay, you can't go forward without releasing some of this energy. So we are going to go, because the wind keeps blowing. I'm going to get going. But the advice to release, you need to tap into your nervous system. You need to focus on what it is that's in front of you. 333 on the timer. I'm also seeing the scales. Libra energy may be significant. But this is Scorpio. Are you able to go to the depths of your soul to find the truth? To find what energy it is that you are holding on to? That's how you find the truth, when you allow yourself to release. And when you're able to release energy, it's able to come back to you. I'm also hearing transmutation. To create. You need to write. You need to get to... I think it's also a thing about not worrying about the future timeline, not worrying about what's coming towards you. and trusting in where you are, trusting that you are in the right place at the right time. Okay, trusting that the divine has got you. When you're able to come back to peace, even in the midst of anxiety, you can return to serenity, whether that's doing some breath work, whether that's grounding. Okay, you need to allow yourself to hold on to you, because again, coming back to that, what I said about the roots is what holds the security, and that's where the truth lies. And there's something to do with receiving mode at this time. The things that you're asking for, knowing that they are on their way to you, and it's not an illusion. You're able to, with your intuition, be able to discern what is for you and what isn't. This 444 on a timer. Exactly. Okay. Now, okay, hold on. And the action to embody the new was the Hermit. Okay, so as you are letting go of old worries, this is what's happening. These old stories, these old narratives that you used to replay in your head, you are entering a season of justice, and it's starting to feel illusionary. It's starting to feel like, oh my gosh, I have to fight. I need to defend. Someone doesn't want me here. 21 on the timer. Yeah, let's end that. In order to end that, you need to come. What is it that I believe about this? What stories am I telling myself now? What stories did I tell myself in the past, and what stories do I want to write? 33 on the timer. That's where you're able to reignite. Relight the fire. You are my only desire. Yeah, you need to come back to your desires, come back to your truth, because it's not something that someone can take from you. You can't take it from me this time. I love that song. I think I need to release it. Return my love to me unless you're going to say something nice. Anyway, I hope you'll be pleased to see that the new energy that was coming towards you, 111, was the Magician, and it came out with the Ace of Swords and the 10 of Cups. We started this reading with the 10 of Cups. There is wish fulfillment that comes from your truth. Again, the truth being who you are. 0123, you're on the right path. Okay, because you're creating the world around you through your subconscious thoughts, how you talk to yourself, the ideas the Spirit is giving you, the songs that you are singing, the vibration that you are letting out, your frequency. And you might be like, oh my gosh, but your worries and your fears do not determine your frequency. How do you respond to them? This life is all about responding versus reacting. Your reactions in the past, especially we have the Knight of Swords that was in reverse. You're not being asked to be very, very fast Gemini right now. You're being asked to be slower. 9 of Cups, also to take time for joy. Take time to nurture yourself. Your emotional world is very important at this time. Okay, my darling? Yeah, because that's where the shifts are. That's where the shifts are. You are shifting. You are building. You are going from someone that their subconscious mind was bringing their fears to real life. Like, you know when a child paints a scary picture in a horror movie and then that scary thing comes to life? Yeah, that's kind of what's going on. You in the past you were afraid, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I can never have this, and that your life was just like, okay, but, and it was just reflecting that towards you. And there's been such a gap since when you used to operate like that all the time. And I'm not saying that these fears don't come up in your mind, but that is no longer your constant. That is no longer your frequency. But the old fears are coming up. It is Mercury retrograde in Cancer. So your emotional world is having to address old fears, old things, so that you can come to closure. You don't get closure from a conversation with someone else. You can have 10, 100,000 conversations with someone, but if you are not resolved in your own heart, in your own mind, you're never going to be aligned. The devil will control... The devil, when I say the devil, I'm talking about the devil card energy. I ain't talking about no Satan. But the devil, meaning, yeah, your subconscious mind will stay attached to that timeline, to those fears, to those addictions, to those illusions. Okay? If you don't allow yourself to detach. I digress. Let me pull a card to confirm. I feel like I scared someone with that. The Empress. Yeah, you're supposed to receive. And receiving comes from ease. Receiving comes from an open heart. But if your heart is closed, then there's only one way that you can go, which is deeper into the shadows, so that you can further heal. The Star. I can't make this shit up. Anyway, you are stepping out of that. Okay? Your subconscious mind is now of, I can create my world. I'm worthy of a life of joy, peace, abundance, and happiness. You are creating this. This is all you, Pookie, and it's coming from your word. So it's not a fantasy. I need you to start declaring, this is my life. This is what I asked for. It's not a fantasy to be here where you are. If you're telling yourself it's a fantasy, if you're telling yourself it's delusion, when it comes, you're going to hold on to that conclusion and you will self-sabotage. You will knock yourself out because of fear. Right now, I'm not saying that you need to fall on the time. I'm not saying that you need to be unemotional, because King of Cups did come up, but you need to allow yourselves to make decisions that are clear. You need to have a clear mind at this time, because your manifestations are coming to you at full speed. Judgment card, this was literally the beginning energy. You know exactly where you're going. You know exactly what you're calling in. You need to trust it at this time. The Fool, new beginning. I'm going to pull one more card and that's it. Because I've accidentally stopped and paused this reading so many times. So I'm going to have to edit it and put together. And I actually didn't want to have to do all that. Page of Swords. New expression. Yeah, there's going to be new challenges. Yeah, you don't know everything. Yeah, you're still learning how it is to manifest. Yeah, you're still wielding this sword. But this sword of yours is putting you on the path towards your dream life. Your happiest timeline of receiving and also love. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but King of Cups is my favorite king. Like King of Pentacles is cool, but I love me a King of Cups. I need that romance. Okay, because emotional stability, you've got emotional stability, you can create financial stability. Anyway. Okay, so maybe some of you guys are worried about your finances. Maybe that is something that has been troubling you. Okay, the work that you do in your inner world will reflect in the world around you. So let yourself right now make decisions that are beneficial for your present moment. Okay, what do you need right now? But also what you need right now, how does it help you in the future? Let yourself make decisions that are in alignment with where you are heading and where you're going. And these old cycles, these old memories, these old stories and versions of you and narratives that are coming up, release them, let them be flowing. You can't hold on to them. Cry if you need to, journal as much as you can, burn it, okay, and continue to go on with the plan. You've got this, my darling. It's not a fantasy it's not a fantasy to be here where you are. Literally landed in reverse, because it's not a fantasy, babe. And you've got this, and I'm cheering you on, okay? My name is Destiny. I'm your oracle, and I hope this video found you exactly when you needed it to. If this resonated, give a like, a comment, and yeah, hopefully you subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.